I think the biggest adjustment is just you go from trying to achieve so much, like you're a good high school player, you're a good college player, and then as soon as you start a professional career overseas, you kind of start completely from scratch.
I gotta testify, come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify.
So when did you get back, did you say?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
so were you itching to get back?
Yeah, I can't lie, man. I miss the beach. I can't lie.
So was that like the first place you had circled when you were like, I'm coming back to the Central Coast?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, Terrigo. I knew exactly what cafe I was going to and everything.
Oh, so you know all the spots now?
I know all the spots. Like, I knew when I wanted to go. I had my beach towel ready, sunscreen ready, all that.
So when you were recruiting AJ, were you pretty much like, I know where the spots are, like we're sorted?
Oh, for sure. I told AJ, I was like, look, as soon as you land, I'm showing you every single spot, and I know his hobbies and things like that. I got him straight.
So what is the relationship with you and AJ? Where did that all start?
So we grew up in the same area. He lives
Washington guy.
Yeah, he lives 15 minutes away from me. So we hang out all the time. We train all the time. One of my best friends. Grew up playing against each other in high school. He might have tried to dunk on me a couple times, but yeah, that's basically how I knew AJ, and it's just crazy to see our career come to. We were playing in the same country like last year.
Yeah. So was he trying to get you over to the West, and you're like, no, the beach is over here, man.
I had, yeah, for sure. Like he told me about some teams that were interested in recruiting us both, but I told him, I know the best spot, man. Like, it's hard to compete with this.
So what was the decision-making process to get back to the Central Coast Crusaders? Like, seeing your standing where you came to in the East, I'm sure there was plenty of suitors. Was it always the natural choice to come back to Central Coast, or did you actually have to kind of sit down and think about it?
I definitely had to take some time to think about it. I had to talk to AJ. I had to talk to my family, my agents, just to see what the best fit would be. Talk to coach. I think Central Coast just ended up being the best decision for me, and I feel like my career in the long run.
It's interesting because when you talk to people about Central Coast Crusaders, they always talk about how it's very much a tough-nosed team that like to talk a bit of smack. You're a very chill dude. How have you really fit into that culture?
I think off the court, I'm a chill guy. I like to be kind. I'm easygoing, but I definitely have that alter ego on the court, so it helps match my court personality at least, you know?
So how was it your first year in the East? What was your expectations, obviously, and we will talk about your time with Tamworth. Were you expecting it to be, obviously the level of competition was always going to be raised, but what was your biggest surprise coming into the NBL 1 East?
Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't think I expected every team to be competitive. So I knew coming into the East, like they were very good teams. Like I knew Maiden was good. I knew Canberra was good, you know, teams like that. But every single game you had to come to play, which is a big adjustment for me coming from where I was last year. Like if you took one game off, you're gonna lose. So I think that was definitely the biggest change for me.
Last year, obviously, we had the teams that kind of broke away at the start of the year and they were in the top 4, but there was that logjam in the middle for so long and you guys were in it. It felt like very much so you were feast or famine, almost the Crusaders. I remember the trip to Canberra last year, you guys got demolished by COE and then you come out against the Gunners. Did you feel like it was a roller coaster season while you were in it?
It definitely felt like a roller coaster. It was tough knowing that we were the team that could beat any team,
yeah,
but we were also the team that could lose to any team. So it's tough on the mind, but I think it was a good challenge for us, and it was a good lesson that we learned. You know, we have to approach every game with the mindset that this is a win or go home game, and we have to approach every practice with the mindset that we have to get better instead of taking any practices or time off.
Is there a point in the season last year that you wish you could have back? Because obviously just missing out on that playoff spot, is there a thing that you look back on and go like, oh, we could have made the playoffs if we did this right?
Yeah, there's definitely a few games.
Sorry to do it to you.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, I know that Aubrey game hurt us. Like, we just didn't go to Aubrey to play, especially like they were low in the standings. I felt like we didn't approach that game with the right mindset, and we lost that. And then the second Hornsby game here, that was a game we threw away that I just felt we could have had that game. That would have put us closer to playoff contention. You know, we had some injuries that I wish kind of just never happened that ended up hurting us towards the end of the year. Just small things like that, honestly.
What about a highlight? Is there any? I'm sure there was plenty of highlights though as well.
Man, plenty of highlights. Even though it's not my highlight to say, I think that buzzer beater against Southern last year was crazy. I love that game. Like, packed crowd, close game, intense game. There's nothing like having a buzzer beater, you know, like winning at that last second.
Why did Imported cut that?
Honestly, like, you got to ask the directors on that. I thought that was crazy, man. That was fire. They should put my dunk in there too, but hey, I'll let it be, man.
With the imported stuff, it's a great show. People at home haven't seen it yet. They definitely need to watch into it, even just from the NBL 1 East perspective. One thing I found quite fascinating, and I'd love to get your opinion on it, being an import for the team, I found that there was a really good quote about how you have to pretty much, hang on, let me just find the quote, sorry. You can't have a gap in the resume. So pretty much if you miss 1 year, you're kind of damaged goods in a sense. As an import for a team, how do you find the balance of trying to be, obviously when someone brings you into the team, they want you to be the star, they're expecting a certain type of production, but you also need to fit into that team and also have in mind for the next job. How do you juggle all those different thoughts and being a good teammate, but also being able to continue to produce in the future?
I think the biggest thing, one, is staying present. Like, if you think about the next season while you're in the season that you're playing right now, you'll get lost in the sauce, honestly. And then on top of that, you have to be mindful that winning is also important for your resume. So if you go to a team and you try to average 40, but you win one game, no teams are going to want you, and you'll get a bad recommendation from the coach, because the coach for the next team that you're going to is going to ask your coach, like, what kind of teammate you were. So you just have to, it is tough. It's a tough balancing act, but you just have to know, like, everything plays a factor in how your next contract is going to look. Not just how many points you score, but how your teammates view you, how your coach views you, what it looks like on film. Like, if you're sitting there jacking threes, like, a coach isn't going to look at you and be like, I want this guy on my team, you know? So, but there's a lot of pressure knowing, like, sometimes you'll have a game, it's third quarter, and you're like, I have 8 points. Like, I can't have this on my resume, or I can't have my average drop too low. So it's learning to balance it, but just be present as well so it doesn't pressure you too much.
Well, if you're watching, you've noticed that we've just teleported to the other court. There's a bit of cleaning going on in the background. So anyway, imported didn't have this, I'll just say.
They put it in the budget, you know?
I'll talk to BNSW.
Oh, man.
So wait, Mike Creppy. So Mike Creppy, obviously a mentor of yours, he was absolutely amazing. He also spoke about just he spoke about how you got to this position, how much you've been through. What can you speak to actually the trials and tribulations of being a player, coming from America and having to slowly work your way up through the ranks to be an import for an NBL 1 team?
And it's definitely a tough journey, not easy. You go through a lot of pitfalls and holes. Like, you have to, I think the biggest adjustment is just, you go from trying to achieve so much, like, you're a good high school player, you're a good college player, and then as soon as you start a professional career overseas, you kind of start completely from scratch. All the work you've done kind of doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, for example, I had to play in a lower league in Germany, and, like, you just go through small problems like not liking your housing and low pay, just not a big support system for you, and just having to figure it out every day. You're just struggling and grinding, and, like, you're playing at levels that I don't want to say you feel are below you, but you know it's not the level that you're used to playing at. Like, if you play, for example, Division I college, like, you're playing against dogs every day, and then, like, your first year you might be playing against some guys that play basketball like once a week. You know, it's hard on the mental to really know your value and appreciate the process while you're in those lower levels trying to climb up, you know. But
well, you've climbed up, you're in the East. Our other division, the Waratah League, you're at Tamworth. I'd love to know, I thought it was really interesting in the show, in the movie or documentary Imported, that you said that hopped off the plane, you saw your kangaroo, but you ended up in Tamworth. What was your expectations of going out to a rural town in Australia was like? Like, what were you thinking coming in? Because you come from Germany, the States. It must have been interesting.
It was definitely a culture shock for me. So I, honestly, not smart of me, I'll be honest. I didn't do too much research on Tamworth before I came out. I thought it was like a suburb of Sydney or something, so.
I feel like you were so off.
Like, I get off the flight, and then, like, I land, and then our coach picks us up, John, that's my guy, and he's like, yeah, we have another 5-hour drive. After this 24-hour flight, I'm like, there's no way, like, but it was still cool. I had a good time. Like, it's a beautiful place. The people were really kind to me. There's still plenty to do, but it was definitely very different for me. It was adjustment is the word I'll use for it.
So obviously you've made some awesome relationships over there. We'll talk about Max Clark in a second. But lo and behold, we've just come from an interview in Maitland. Seeing Billy Parsons at lunch, he's like, I'm seeing Garric, he's coming back down and we're going off to Tamworth. Obviously the place must hold a special part in your heart to be going back there.
Yeah, for sure. I consider my Aussie home. Like, they welcomed me in with open arms. Anything I needed, they were kind of there for me. They helped me adjust to any of the problems that I had out there. I really couldn't say thank you enough to the town and to the club and to my friends and honestly family that I met out there. So I always love going back every time I come back to Australia and just reconnecting with everybody, honestly.
What was the biggest culture shock being out in Tamworth?
I think when I got there, I went straight into the country music festival. So that was just, I wouldn't say I'm a man who listens to much country music, normally. So just seeing that was, all the caravans on the field and all the packed pubs and like everybody drinking beer, just everything it was all new to me. The music, man, it was a crazy experience. That's what I say.
So what part of the Aussie culture have you enjoyed the most?
I just like the people. Like everybody's very kind here that I've met. It's a very easygoing culture, a lot more laid back, and people seem to be more appreciative of like who you are as a person than kind of. I don't want to say in America is always like this, but especially coming from a city, like it seems people are more interested in what you have or what you can provide or like your status, honestly. But over here, people kind of just seem to be happy with just getting to know you, who you are as a person.
While you're in Tamworth, they had another import called Max Clark. Did you know Max beforehand? He came to the NOS Bulls, he set the league on fire. Hopefully we see him again this season or next season. Definitely more than welcome back in the East, fingers crossed. What was that relationship like? I'm sure going to a country music festival and having a fellow import with you probably kind of helped with the culture shock a little bit?
So I did actually know Max before, which is crazy. I met Max 2 years before he went to Tamworth in Denmark, not even in America. Like we were on some tour in Denmark with Mike Creppy, actually, the guy who started our career. And like we were just cool. Like we kind of just gravitated towards each other because our personalities just work like that. We talked a little bit from time to time, and then next thing you know, we're both signed to Tamworth. I got there first. He came on the last day of the Country Music Festival, so I had to kind of give him the rundown.
So you were actually at the stage where you could go like, it's over here if you're looking for this over there.
Exactly.
You were the local by that time.
I was the local, and I was working at the local pub. So it wasn't even like I was out exploring in the Country Music Festival. I'm the one like pouring beers and all that.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you have some stories about working at the pub.
Oh my gosh. I'll say Aussies can drink too. But yeah, it was fun. Like, it's cool having 1,000 people ask about your accent and why you're in Tamworth and things like that. But it was crazy getting to experience that with Max for sure, yeah.
What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself in Tamworth?
I think I just learned to be a professional in any environment. Like, it is a basketball town, but it's not as basketball oriented as, being back home. Like, you're practicing twice a day. Everybody around you plays basketball and loves basketball. But while I was out there, even though I wouldn't say it was everybody's main focus, I had to learn to, still go to the weight room every day, still train every day, even if the exact resources I weren't there for me.
Yeah. I got to ask, so it seems like the import community here in the NBL 1 East is quite strong. You see all the boys, I've seen a couple of photos on Instagram where you guys were all at the club together. Is there an import group chat?
So actually, that's a good idea. I'm gonna be honest, there's no import group chat. I'm surprised we haven't done this yet. I'm not gonna lie. We kind of just end up gravitating towards the same places, or we do message each other from time to time. Like, we'd be like, what are you doing this weekend? Or if we have a game, like, what are you doing after the game? But it's just, there's like-minded people from the same place. You kind of just tend to gravitate towards them, Group chat though, good idea.
All right.
I'm gonna get that going.
You're welcome. Now, I got one more thing I do have to ask. The thing I noticed in imported that I thought was very interesting, Roy Ayers before the game time, meditation. I've done the player playlist all last year. NBA Youngboy, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Clearly I was missing out not asking you to do it. What is it about this chill, soulful R&B music that makes you ready for game day?
It just puts me in a serene headspace. Like, there's so many variables in the game. I feel like if I were to listen to NBA Youngboy, I'm already a high energy player. Like, I might accidentally get ejected from the game. So I feel like listening to Sade, some Roy Ayers, something smooth, calm, collected. It helps me go through the game with a much more even kill, mentality. I can deal with, maybe a bad call or a missed shot or something much more easily. Just move on to the next one,
So I interviewed Will Mayfield last year, and one thing we spoke about when it came to music was what's like the team playlist. And he said Glenn Morrison and his sea shanties. Apparently they pump sea shanties at Canberra Gunners practice. Who's on the aux chord for the Central Coast Crusaders? And is it pro or con that music taste?
Last year it was Tom. I don't know who's gonna be on the aux chord this year, but last year I would say it was anti that music. This year, I'm hoping I get the title aux this year. We'll have some vibes going there, some nice 80s, 90s vibes, real chill. So nice to know though. Canberra, come on, man.
No, sea shanties won't make the playlist.
I mean, look, tell Will, send me the playlist. We'll see what we can work out.
So going into 2026, obviously you guys got so close to the playoffs. What's the team goal? Obviously playoffs, but what do you think is the thing the team needs to work on the most to make the playoffs?
I think for us, we just need to be more connected. Last year, there were a lot of times where we were just disconnected as a team. I think that's what led to some of our losses. We just weren't on the same page. We weren't executing. We weren't communicating well on defense. Sometimes if the game got out of hand, because basketball is a game of runs, instead of coming back, we kind of just fold. So I think us being more resilient as a team, communicating better, and just being more connected on the offensive, defensive end, that'll be a huge focus for us. We had the talent last year. We just didn't put it into wins. So this year, that's our big goal.
How was it playing with someone like Luke Cassidy? I call him the king of the Central Coast. He's got his billboard out the front there. I get to tease him about it all the time. What's it like playing with him? He seems like a very chill character, but when he hits the court, he's ruthless.
Yeah, I love playing with Luke, man. Like, I don't know how he's in that good shape. He can run more than anybody I've ever seen in my life, but he's just a pleasure to play with as a point guard. Like, very unselfish. He's gonna guard full court. He's gonna make the right play every time if he can. And he's a dog. Like, you'll have a switch where he'll switch with a big and a guard, and he'll guard the bigs better than the bigs sometimes. Like, he's a joy to play with as a point guard, honestly. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Now you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna put you on the spot. So we've been asking this on our interviews. You've played one season now in the NBL 1 East. Who is your starting five for the NBL 1 East?
Ooh, I'm really on the spot.
As I said, I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. Am I considering the sign as this year or last year?
And what you've experienced and what you look like is coming. Whatever you want it to be.
What have I experienced? Okay, number one, I love you, Luke, but that guy that plays for Bankstown can hoop.
Kadee?
Yeah, Kadee. Man, I feel like it's a point guard I would love to play with, I'm not gonna lie. The way he plays the game, man.
You went to I saw you at a couple of Bankstown games.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch Dre.
You can just tell he sees the game in the game, the way he plays. That's a point guard I love to play with. Big, I don't know, obviously it's evident by how it's been. I don't see anybody that has an answer for Glenn Morrison really at the 5 yet. So can't really come. I would have to put him at my 5.
Like that.
I'll put me at the 3.
Yeah, we encourage that. We encourage that.
I can't. I love everybody else, but I just have to. The 4 is a tough one from last year. Oof. Man, I don't know. Honestly, I really like Freeman last year.
Yeah, you know what? Out of all the coaches and people you speak to about imports, yourself and Freeman were always people that they talked about that impressed them the most.
He's a dog, and after having to guard him, and I can see why. He can shoot the ball, super athletic, super strong. You can't bully him. He's not a selfish player. Plays well in transition. I have to put him in my 4, and then 2. Man, my dog. We tried to make it happen this year. It couldn't happen. But my guy Max, man, I'd have to put him at that 2 for sure.
When I was commentating that game, when I saw you at Bankstown versus Inner West, and that shooting performance was, I don't think I've seen something like that in the East for a long while. That was insane.
Man, imagine it in practice, man. I used to do shooting workouts with this guy. We would do competition shooting. I was wondering if I should still be playing basketball sometimes, man. He can shoot. He's unselfish. He's an easy guy to play with, and mostly, he's coachable. It's good to have a player that you can talk to in the game, no matter how intense it is, that'll just listen to you instead of, giving you any feedback. Like he's a good guy to play with. I'm sure I missed some people. Like this.
I think that was a solid one.
Yeah, but there's a lot of talent in the East, but that's just gonna have to be my
We
starting
love that.
five, you know?
Garric Young, thank you so much, my man.
Appreciate you, my dog.
Thank you.
Easy.
Easy as, dude.
Yeah.